Superpowers for good, shaping the fate. Investors and dreamers open the gate. Supercross stands loud, proud and true, building tomorrow for me and you.
Welcome, everyone. I am so excited. We have just a fabulous guest today. We've got with us Samreen Arshad. She's the CEO and founder of SamreensVanity. This is really going to be a fun conversation. You don't want to miss this one. Samreen, welcome.
Hi, guys. Thank you so much for having me, Devin.
Oh, we're thrilled to have you. We're thrilled to have you.
Thank
You've got a great company you're building, and you are also running a We Funder campaign right now. There's so much I'm excited to talk to, but why don't we start by asking you to tell us a little bit about the business. Let's just set the table a little bit with the foundation. What is SamreensVanity?
So, SamreensVanity is a luxury cosmetic beauty line which is founded to elevate South Asian representation within the beauty space. I feel that the beauty space is an industry which is never impacted a lot by the economy or the world affairs. And there's just so much scope to grow. And there was a white space that I noticed that we're 2.1 billion South Asians in the world. And there's not even a single cosmetic line which is aimed at manufacturing products for them or just having their inclusion in the beauty space. So that is the white space I saw, and I launched SamreensVanity.
Oh, it's really kind of a cool space that you've identified. Now, tell us a little bit about the product line. How does that stand? What have you got on offer now?
So right now we have 9 SKUs. The smart thing to do is that you want to grow slow, like a lot of in beauty space because there's so many options. And I feel like a lot of founders rush into just delivering product after product. We have a different approach to it. We want to be slow and steady. So since we launched right in the pandemic, which was 2022, I did mask up. So I just launched with eyeliners to just test the waters and see is there a need, what do people want. And to my surprise, well, not my surprise, I was pretty confident, but people just love the eyeliners because it's such a standard beauty practice for people who use cosmetics, or even if they don't use cosmetics. Eyeliner is something a lot of women do gravitate towards, or men, any makeup user. And then we did our dual-ended lipsticks, which are revolutionary and it has not been done before. There are two dual-ended lipsticks with a lip liner at one end and lipstick at the other end. And we did blushes. Thankfully, we've been very lucky that our first product got us onto QVC in 2022. And then our lipsticks, we were contacted by Costco. And then now we've been reached out by Shark Tank. So I feel it's going really well.
That is really cool.
Thanks.
You're in an incubator program now. Tell us a little bit about the incubator program that you're in.
Yes, I'm in the Tower 28 incubator program. For founders, incubator programs are kind of a very attractive program or an idea because a lot of times we're just kind of winging it. As a founder, like I feel I've done a lot of things on my own, but now that I'm trying to scale the business and I'm getting all this outside attention, I really want to be thorough with everything. So I applied in this incubator program, which is incredible. It's 10 weeks long. It's founded by Amy Liu, who's the founder of Tower 28, a very successful beauty skincare brand. And in this week, every week we have 2 classes, and the classes are literally run by like the CMO of Sephora from Paris, or a founder, like a very successful founder who's running their business, and they will talk to us about marketing and operations, branding. And in the end of this 10-week program, which ends in end of August for me, we get to pitch to all the retailers out there: Sephora, Ulta, Credo, 13 Loon, all the major ones.
Wow, that's exciting. As you think about, starting with the 9 SKUs, tell us, what is your vision for the future? Where do you see SamreensVanity going in 5 years, in 10 years? What's your vision?
So, Devin, it's incredible that how much we have grown without any marketing so far. And that's what I'm so proud of. And the only reason we didn't do marketing is because I bootstrapped my way. I invested all of my own money in the business because I wanted to have a very good proof of concept. And now that things are blowing up for us, I feel that we've come so far just because of our customers who love the product, word of mouth, and social media. So once we really tap into marketing, I think it's going to explode. Like I am very confident about the product. It's been 3 years that we've launched, and we have had under 10 returns, under 10, like in the last 3 years. So I know that the product is fantastic. As soon as we get some eyes on it, it's gonna make its way up.
You're doing some amazing, amazing work. It's such a great idea, kind of a, as they say in the business, right? A little bit of a blue ocean opportunity, right?
Yes.
Wide open. Um, Tell us a little bit about the WeFunder campaign. How, just tell folks how they can find it and how they can invest.
So when we started, I mean, where we are as a brand right now, we could have easily gone to VC firms and get like heavy investments. But because the brand is made for the community and it's founded by the community, I'll say, and I am part of the community. So that's why I say it's by the community, for the community. I felt it was the right thing to do where we just want to get the right angel investors in, people who can look back in 4 or 5 years and be like, I made the right decision with my $100, $1,000, $10,000, whatever. So that's why we went with WeFunder. And we are backed by a VC firm called Backstage Capital, which is founded by Arlen Hamilton. She's very well known in the VC space because she's one of the few African American LGBTQ VC founder in the ocean of male dominated industry almost. So I'm very proud to have her on our back, and she's the one who has launched our WeFunder campaign. So if you go on WeFunder, just look for SamreensVanity and it's all there.
As you think about the the your story, let's go back. How did you decide to do this? I mean, obviously the need was there, but there's a very big difference between identifying a need or a problem and deciding to be the solution. How did that happen?
The one thing I feel is I am blissfully ignorant. And, it sounds like a bad thing, but I think it's a great thing. It's a great problem to have. I mean, for the fact that me being a new mom, and going through postpartum depression, I was like, in and out of hospital and all that stuff. And I didn't grow up with makeup. I taught myself makeup at the age of 30. So 10 years ago, I'm turning 40 in a couple of days. So I didn't come from makeup. I wasn't a teenager who grew up with YouTube and all that stuff. I started off as an influencer. I did that for 5 years. I was very successful, but I knew that I needed more. And I tried to apply at this high-end retailer that everybody goes to for makeup for like a floor sales job. And I thought, I need to work my way up or get discounts on makeup, one or the other. I really didn't know what my goal was. But after I applied 7 times in the span of a year and a half for the openings they had on in store online, I never landed a job interview. I would go in, I would meet the manager, I would show her my portfolio. I'm like, hey, I know what I'm doing. I would love to be a part of your company, your store, but I never got the interview. And that's when I decided that someone has to do something because A, there's no brand that showcases women like me, minority women, and I'm an immigrant. I moved to the US when I was 21 years old for business school. And secondly, there's just no representation. If you go in beauty stores and you look around, like you don't see women like me or my people. And that's it. Like that was the only idea. I went home in my basement and I Googled how to make makeup in America.
You learned in that process. It's so intriguing.
Yeah, I taught myself makeup. I come from a very conservative family, so I wasn't allowed to apply makeup. I had just a lip gloss and a kohl liner for my eyes. growing up. And once I found, I mean, I taught myself. So that's what I feel like. I'm so resilient. I will figure out a way, and I did.
So, Samreen, as you think about your vision for the future, what do you see as being the path to get where you want to take this business over the next 5 to 10 years?
So my goal with this is absolutely we're going to go international because I feel the kind of brand and the product that I'm developing, there's a need for it around the world. I've been contacted by Hong Kong, Singapore, Malaysia, because that part of the world, they don't get products that are made for them. Either they're kosher, halal, like it kind of, they don't see brands like ours. They just see like the big ones like the Estee Lauders and the Max, and they're so done now. People really want a brand that has a conscience and has a DNA that they can connect to. And so I feel that we're going to get into retail here, but my ultimate goal is to go international with this in the next couple of years.
An exciting thing to be discussing, and I want to just keep going, but it's time for us to take a quick break.
Sure.
I'm here today with Samreen Arshad. She's the CEO and founder of SamreensVanity. It's an amazing young company that is selling makeup targeting South Asians. So this is a great company, and when we come back, we're going to talk to Samreen about her superpower. So stick around. You don't want to miss this.
You can get in on the ground floor to help fix the climate crisis for as little as $100. Pause now to scan the QR code to get started or visit s4g.biz/raisegreen. You can be a green at Raise Green.
Want to learn from the world's great change makers? Find your superpower. Subscribe to the Superpowers for Good newsletter at superpowersforgood.com. Make your strengths into superpowers that will change the world. Join the super crowd today. Superpowers4good.com.
Hope to raise money from the impact crowd. Good investors are as interested in community, social or environmental impact as you. Connect with Funding Hope, an SEC-registered FINRA member crowdfunding portal to learn how to raise capital from the impact crowd. Scan the QR code now.
Welcome back, everyone. We're so excited. We've got Samreen Arshad here. She's the CEO and founder of SamreensVanity. This is a young company that's making makeup for South Asians. This is a great company. We've had just a great discussion, but we're going to shift gears now to talk to Samreen about her superpower. So stick around. You don't want to miss this conversation. Samreen, thank you so much for taking the time to be with us today. We're excited for this conversation. I'm so impressed with what you're doing, your career as an influencer, your career as a startup CEO. I mean, man, you really have accomplished some cool things.
Thank you.
What is your superpower?
I think we all have a way of connecting. And I feel one thing I mentioned earlier is resilience. Like I'm just blissfully ignorant. I think of something and I feel I can do it. And it's just one of those things. But I can say it has its own drawbacks too. But I truly think my superpower, Devin, is that my ability to connect with people. I I'm just I don't know what it is. Like I'm very intrigued to learn about people, and I think anytime you meet someone, people want you to be interested in them. And to me, that just comes so naturally. Like if I see you, I want to know all about you, and I will approach you and I will talk to you, and I'm just very open. So it's people feel comfortable, and I think that has really helped me grow as an entrepreneur, as an influencer before, and now as a founder for the company. I think that really works in my favor.
It is kind of exciting to see the tremendous success you're having, and I can see how you can connect that to connecting with people, right?
Yeah.
It's so incredibly important, and I suspect that it's especially true with makeup because it's kind of a personal thing. People got to feel that a little bit. You've got to be able to connect with your audience and your customers. And so I think it's pretty cool. Um, as you think about your superpower of connecting with people, can you think of a story that illustrates a time when maybe you were able to connect with someone that was important or difficult, and you're proud of how you were able to connect with that person?
Yeah, and I think it's a very helpful story for people. I didn't do it consciously, but now when I look back, I'm like, oh, this is how it happened. I a lot of times when people are trying to fundraise or raise capital, they think that's the time you need to start thinking about raising capital. No, I mean, if you want to connect with investors, you have to start working years in advance, and that's what I did. But that was not my mindset or plan. My first investor, like I said, Backstage Capital's founder, Arlen Hamilton, her and I just connected. Like, I genuinely respected her and I really genuinely cared about what she had to say. So I've traveled around the country to hear her speak and be part of her masterminds, etc. So I think like I genuinely just connected with her. I was always like intrigued by what she's doing. I wanted to learn from her. I'm very open about my shortcomings. Like, I will tell you that, hey, I think I can really learn this from you because I don't have it. And I think once you have that kind of openness and vulnerability, people generally just connect with you. So if there's one thing people can take away from this, is just be open about what you're good at and what you're not good at, and tell people others what they're good at. And be, if you're impressed by someone, just voice it, and that really builds that genuine connection. So with me working with her for 2 years, she herself came and said, I want to back your fundraising efforts. I didn't ask her, I didn't expect it, but it worked out for me. And I think that's what I want people to have as a key takeaway from this.
Yeah, that's really pretty cool. You know, the fact that she came to you to support you after you had built the relationship with her is really a powerful example. You suggested that there are a couple of tips you would offer for, building your ability to connect with people, including that openness, vulnerability, admitting your mistakes. How else would you encourage people to create those genuine relationships so that you're not approaching it cynically all the time? So many networking guides I've read seem so surfacey. I'm skeptical, but how would you build those genuine relationships?
I feel in a place, and I'm learning this right now because this is all new to me. Like, I'm in a world of CEOs and founders who are multi-million dollar company owners, just doing their things. And I feel like there's just a lot of egos around, like a lot. And I feel like everyone's trying really hard to prove themselves. My deal is, I don't try to prove myself. I don't walk in the room and I want you to know who I am. I'm going to walk in the room and I want to know who you are, because I think that just matters. People don't take interest in learning about others. So I think that is one thing that if you can just change that little thing about, I want you to know who I am, to I want to know who you are, that is a great way to get attention, break the ice, and just be really vulnerable. Like, I've been reached out by podcasts. Where they're like, oh, $1 million businesses and multi-million dollar businesses. And when they reach out to me, I'm like, I'm not a multi-million dollar business. I'm just starting off. And to me, like, I have no reason to fake it because it's all public knowledge. So, in today's day and world where people need to know your why, it's very important to know why you are doing what you're doing. Like, when I started off, and I think I said this earlier when you and I met, I said, people asked me, does the world really need another beauty brand? And I was the first person to say, no, the world does not need another beauty brand. People need my beauty brand because I have a bigger purpose and a mission with great products. And I think that's very important in today's day and time, especially when there's just so much noise out there.
Well, Samreen, your insights about how to build relationships, I think, are profound, and I'm grateful for you sharing those. As we wrap up now, I wonder if you would take a minute and tell people how they can do several things. We want them to know how to get your products, right? Let's make that as easy as possible for. Let them know how they can connect with you on social media. I presume you've got a social media presence and people can follow you. If people want to connect with you more personally, is there a way to do that? Tell them that. And then, of course, remind them how to find the WeFunder campaign. So take a minute and walk us through those details.
So, as far the products are concerned, we are DTC, so you can find them on our website at www.SamreensVanity.com. And in terms of our WeFunder campaign, you can just go on wefunder.com, wefunder.com, and our profile is Samreen's Vanity. I highly recommend people who care about the cause to consider investing, because truly, like, we ourselves have to make the difference. When we look at these companies exiting for 300 million, 200 million, I'm sure we all think like, oh man, this person must have made a buck. But honestly, it could be you. It could be anybody with as little as $100 to $1,000 who can benefit from this. So I highly recommend that. And if you want to connect with me, sorry, I kind of lost my thought there. I am on social media. Our brand is on social media on Instagram and Facebook. And I have my own personal Instagram page, which I love for connecting with people who want to share a thought or just connect or pick my brain for something. It's called Samreen Arshad, Samreen. My last name is Arshad, Arshad. You can find me on Instagram and shoot me a text or an email anytime.
Oh, fantastic. Samreen, I'm so grateful that you took the time to be with us today. We love what you're doing and want to see you succeed. We love celebrating the work of women, especially as founders. We recognize that capital markets can sometimes be unfriendly to women, and so we're grateful to have you here and want to see you thrive and succeed. So thank you very, very much for taking the time to be with us today.
Thank you so much for having me, Devin. And just having this conversation with you is just a nice energy booster today. So I really appreciate it. Thank you.
Oh, fantastic. All righty now. Let's do some good.